Live from the legendary podcast bus in sunny California, it's America's funniest new podcast.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
We think it's funny. And now, here are your hosts, Mark Schiff and Daniel LaBelle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting and soon-to-be jam-packed episode of... Packed! Of We Think It's Funny. I am Daniel LaBelle. I'm sitting here with...
Mark Schiff.
The great Mark Schiff.
The greatest.
On a rainy day in Los Angeles, and we're joined by one of the funniest guys, who I've known for a long time, and I love him. Brad Williams is here.
Thank you. Yes, I'm glad you said it's raining because I want people to understand the bravery that was involved in terms of me getting here. For those of you who don't know, when it rains in the city of Los Angeles, the entire place shuts down. More people were going to businesses during the fires than when it rains. When it rains, everyone just goes, no, we're not leaving. And also, for those of you who don't know, if you're just listening to this in an audio medium, I am a dwarf, a little person of short stature. I know I never mention it in my act. No. So yes, going out in the rain can be catastrophic for me.
Yeah,
you know, like you're a let's safe to say a svelte,
a big guy.
You're a big guy.
You're a little guy. I'm a big guy.
You don't get washed away.
No.
A current goes in the wrong direction.
It's over.
Gone. I'm gone.
If we ever did a tour together, we could do the big guy, little guy tour.
Oh my God! Well,
you do something about that, don't you? Like a foot of water. Or...
Yeah. There's a bit I have in my act. It was an older joke where I was in Edmonton, Canada, as if there's another Edmonton, but Edmonton, Canada, and they got a foot and a half of snow in a day.
Right.
And I was like, well, they're canceling the show, right? They're like, no, why would we cancel the show? It's fine. It's a foot and a half of snow. It's like, I'm 4 feet fucking tall. That's like, if I trip and fall, I'm gone.
Yeah.
See, I've said this on another podcast, so I apologize for recycling this joke. But the joke is real. I do not fear death. I am sad that however I die, I'm not going to be able to read the tweets the next day. Because it's going to be funny. However I die. There's no death.
You're going to have to fake your own death just to get those tweets.
I mean, fingers crossed for a disease, right? Where I know I'm going to die. So then I at least can say, hey, I'm going. Get your jokes in now.
That's a good idea.
Let me read them.
The doctors say I'll be gone in a week.
Yeah.
So let's just push it up.
Yeah.
And make believe I'm dead, and let's see what you got.
Let's see what you got.
If you hate me, get it out now.
Yeah. Tweet that they buried me in a shoebox. Like, go for it.
It's a curious thing too, like what people are going to say about you when you die, or if people will even say anything about you, and you don't want to die on a day when something big happens.
Oh, it's the old Farrah Fawcett thing.
Yeah. What happened with Farrah Fawcett?
Farrah Fawcett died, and it was the biggest news story of the day until a couple hours later when Michael Jackson died. Then no one gave a shit that Farrah Fawcett died.
See,
at the same
getting bumped, by a headliner.
You got bumped.
Like on a big show.
Sure.
You're so excited. You waited your whole life for this show. It's the show of your death.
And then Kevin Hart comes in, and you're like, darn it.
Yeah.
Now he's the most popular, and I'm not even the shortest comic on the damn lineup.
You got death bumped.
I got death bumped.
That's the worst.
Yeah. You don't want to get death bumped. Although I don't know. It's a whole thing where once again, not afraid of death. I'm afraid of an ironic death where the moment before I die, I go, no way. Like this.
Yeah.
This is how, like, if it's something I did.
This is not just a bit. You're really not afraid of dying?
I'm not afraid. But then at the same time, it's like, I just don't want my last thought to be like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, this is how it happens.
Mark is probably the most afraid of dying of anyone I ever met.
Why is that? Because you're closest out of the three of us?
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. Mr. Bypass over there, maybe. I don't know. Or for me, a large dog.
German Shepherd could take you out. Yeah.
Which I have two of. Not German Shepherds, but large dogs. I don't know why I'm surrounding myself with things that can kill me.
You have large dogs?
Yeah, my wife is a martial artist. She's a 4th Dan black belt, so she can kill me. And I have a pit bull and a pit bull mix. And to quote Bill Burr, I think it's mixed with another pit bull.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have 2 pit bulls in my house.
Wow. And
yeah,
a kid.
and a 5-year-old. Now the
Wow.
5-year-old allegedly can't kill me. Allegedly.
Well, I don't know about
Yet.
that. I have a 5-year-old.
Yet.
Yet.
I don't like, you know.
You have a 5-year-old?
I have a 5-year-old
Oh, we
too.
can compare notes. We
Yeah.
can see what kid's smarter. Who's the better parent?
Boy or
Let's
girl?
go, girl. What girl? What you
also.
got?
My
Yeah.
5-year-old's a girl too.
Aren't you thankful?
I've got 2 girls and a boy.
Okay, so all my friends that have boys that are around the same age as my daughter, their boys are dumb as hell. They are dumb. They are so dumb.
You had 3 boys. Is that accurate?
They're morons.
Yeah,
All 3
it
of them.
is
It's
shocking.
amazing they're working, that they have a job, that they ever
Yeah.
moved out of the house. These are stupid people.
What a dad.
what can I tell you?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm telling you the truth.
We had a Super Bowl party, and we had a bunch of the friends and family come
Yeah.
over, and some friends and family brought kids. I got a friend who's got this 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl party was spent trying to keep this kid from killing himself.
Oh
Like,
my
it was
God.
just the kids, like, we have stairs, and the kid's like, I'm gonna go up the stairs. And then we have a railing. It's a really high railing, but it's
Yeah.
there.
Oh, it's
and
scary.
the kid starts
Yeah.
climbing the railing. Like, how are you even doing that?
Yeah.
Like the kid's just trying to kill themselves. The kid, like, was like antagonizing my pit bull, which is showing his teeth, and he's not a mean dog.
That's not good.
He's just like, get the hell out
So
with
you're,
this kid.
you're in a 5-year-old girl, Pink Cloud.
Yeah.
You think it's going to always be like this?
Oh, it won't be.
Oh, no, it's not.
No, I know.
No, you're
I-
going to wish you had boys
Yes.
later on. I'm telling you.
At age 12, when the girl starts going out and like
hormones
hormones
kick
and
in.
everything, that's when I was like, I wish I would have had a boy. Because at least with boys at age 12, like, and also in another 7 years, our 12-year-old boys are just gonna be locked in their rooms having sex with their Tesla robots.
With themselves.
Like
Tesla
that's
robots.
they're just gonna be banging Tesla robots all the time.
Day in and day out.
Yeah, that's all they're gonna do. Hey,
Yeah.
Dad, did you charge my sex
You won't
robot?
even need to charge it at that point.
Yeah,
it'll be
it'll
self-charging.
be powered by the sun.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's all. And all I would do, and I'm definitely gonna do this with my daughter, would be I don't know how your guys' parents were when you guys were teenagers. My mom did the knock knock open, not the knock knock wait.
Knock,
Knock knock open.
My mom didn't even do the knock knock.
She just opened?
Yeah.
Oh.
And she still does when I go home.
Terrifying.
She's a terrible room invader.
Terrifying.
And the rooms don't have locks.
Scary as heck.
My
My
wife
mother-
could be naked. They walk in.
Oh, it's nothing I haven't
My
seen
mother used to
before.
wait under the bed and see what I was going to do. I get in there and start,
Yeah,
get it
yeah,
going.
yeah.
And
Getting to
she'd
know
come out,
yourself.
How dare you?
Yeah.
But she always had a cupcake with her, which is
That's
really-
nice.
That's nice.
Wait, where'd the frosting come from?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. I did it.
What was it like for you growing up?
Only
with your
child.
parents? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They pretty much left me alone. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, that's one thing me and my wife are not doing with our daughter, which I keep emphasizing that we should do. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
The
Let it-
bathroom, the bathroom is where they invaded. Like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't come in, but they go, "What are you doing in there so long? What
Oh.
do you think I'm doing?
Yeah. Also,
We're out of soap."
I don't know why parents would do that, because I'd be like, is my kid in the bathroom for a long time? Awesome. I know where they are.
Yeah.
Right.
They're in the bathroom. Fine.
How much do you love being a parent?
I love it and hate it.
Really? You hate it?
You have one?
Yeah, I got one. Just the one, which I have no idea how
We
anyone has
started
two.
exactly at the same time. I just
Yeah.
kept going. And
You just kept banging them out.
My 5-year-old's my oldest.
Yeah.
So.
I love it because obviously it's like, okay, now my life has purpose. You live for something that's not yourself. My daughter exists, and I didn't know I could love anyone, anything that much, that literally without hesitation, the phrase like take a bullet. Yeah, I would easily.
You would do that for your daughter.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
What about your wife?
Eh.
There you go.
So
We all understand.
yeah,
that.
yeah, we all understand that. I'd have to assess the complete situation. What is every detail that is happening at the moment? There's a lot of
And where the
variables at
marriage
play.
is at that moment.
Yes.
Right.
We were talking about stealing jokes.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
Jack Benny had this great joke where he's being robbed.
Mm.
And it was like the biggest.
This is
laugh
before
ever.
the show started. We were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the joke is a crook comes over to Jack Benny. He goes, "Your money, your life," and he goes,
Yeah.
"I'm thinking."
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
remember that big laugh. So I wrote a joke, and Seinfeld actually told me to get rid of it for this reason because I had a joke that if a guy comes, I'm with my wife. A guy comes with a gun. He goes, "I'm going to kill you or your wife." He leaves it up to me. What do you want to do? I go, "I'm thinking."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he said, "You can't do that joke."
Because the punchline is a Jack
Exactly
Benny
the same
punchline.
as
Yeah,
Jack
yeah,
Benny
yeah.
punchline, even
Yeah.
though it fit perfectly in this, we're not able to do
Yeah.
that joke.
I
But still a
think we
good
may
one.
have discussed this on the air or not. I don't remember, but I know we've discussed it before in real life.
Mm.
This is not real life. But I love Billy Connolly,
Yeah.
one of my favorite comedians ever.
Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
And he sometimes will do jokes on stage that are other comedians' jokes and attribute them to them. Be like, a great comedian named so and so has a joke, and he'll like go, and he'll
Talk
do the
about it,
joke.
it's stealing.
And Mark says, not allowed at all.
But
Stealing.
that was the old
It's
guys.
accredited though.
You know the
Yeah.
At least
the
at least
mountain
he's
guys did
accredited.
that. The
Yeah.
mountain guys. You know, Shecky Green or one of these guys would come out. Buddy Hackett was telling me the story the other. And then just lay it on somebody else. You can't do that anymore.
Man, all right. I'm putting this out there. Matt Rife, if you want to do one of my jokes in your special, but then credit me, go right ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, I kind of feel like I would be okay with it because it's a good, shout out.
It's a billboard.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Did anybody ever steal your stuff?
I have a funny story about this. So there was one time I did a gig in Fairfield, California. I believe the club was called Pepper Bellies. I don't know if it's still around. And there was a little person comedian who came up to me before my show and was like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of yours, blah, blah, blah." And I started doing comedy because you were doing comedy. And I was like, "That's amazing. Oh my God." And I go, "How long you been doing it?" And he goes, "About 2 years." And I go, "Okay. Do you want a guest spot? Like, let's see what you got." He's
Because
like,
it's a little person connection.
"Yeah." And I'm like, and I kind of got discovered and I got my big break on a guest spot. So I like to give them out.
Right.
I can't do it so much anymore because we're at theaters, but at clubs, I would absolutely give them out like candy.
By the way, I'm just going to pause the story for 1 second to
Mhm.
interject. There is not that kind of camaraderie amongst fat people.
No,
No,
you're on your own. You are on your own.
Can't be two fat guys on the stage at once.
Only Ralphie May did it for me. But
Yeah.
no one else. No other.
Because
fat-
Ralphie's got so much. He's got so much material on everything. He doesn't care.
Can't afford a craft table for more than one of you.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, go on.
I
Sorry.
tell him, yeah, I'll give you a guest spot. And the guy goes up, and his entire guest spot is my first album coming up short. And it's like, and trust me, I understand that as little people, like there's other dwarf comics out there that that have similar jokes because we're gonna have a similar perspective. There's only so many life experiences. I get that dwarf comedians will sound similar. This was not that.
Yeah.
This was
It.
that is the joke. That
Right.
is the joke. And the guy comes off stage, and now that my feature act is on stage, and the guy comes off stage, and I just kind of look at him and go, "Huh, big fan, huh?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." Has no idea.
He had no idea, right?
Has no wherewithal. Honestly, I was like, "You just did like a bunch of my jokes." He goes, "No," and I'm like, I think he got him from somebody else,
Right.
and then like just didn't even know. But I did think that was very funny.
I went into a club years ago, and I do the first night, and the owner says to me,
Mm-hmm.
"What are you doing? You know, the guy last week was here. He did the entire same act as you." And he thought I had stolen his act. And I had the guy actually end up calling the club owner to tell him that he had robbed my act.
Oh, so the guy had robbed you.
I had worked with this guy for 2 weeks on the road. He memorized my act.
Oh, wow.
And then I spotted him on it. I said, what are you doing? And he goes, I needed the money. And I couldn't make money.
Wow.
He goes,
He
I couldn't make
admitted
money.
to it.
He goes, I couldn't make money with my act.
You know that Jackie Mason told me that there was a fake Jackie Mason going around for a long time. He would book himself as Jackie Mason.
Wow.
And he would get these bookings and he'd show up at this obviously way before the internet or
Sure,
anything. And he'd be like-
sure.
he would talk like Jackie, he would dress
Seriously?
like Jackie, he would do Jackie's act,
He would do,
and he'd get a check.
he would do Jackie Mason.
He'd say, I'm Jackie Mason. They say, oh, you know, he looked enough like him. And people hadn't seen him in person. They'd kind of be like, oh, okay. And so he
Wow.
said this was going on. This was like in the 60s
Yes.
someplace. So
Well,
this guy was going around town to town collecting off of, as Jackie was making it. He was
make
collecting
the,
off
make
of
the
his
check
name.
out to Richard Anderson,
Yeah.
even though it's Jackie. Like
Yeah.
the thing is that could happen back in the day. Back as you mentioned, the Catskill comics and
Yeah.
the like, because there was no internet, there was no people comparing notes, no one could really track who wrote the joke first. But I mean, so it's like you could really do that back in the day. Now with the internet and people kind of know how comedy works. But I guarantee you, club owners, if comedians didn't hold each other responsible, yes, there are some club owners that would be legit and that would tell people, no, you can't do that. But there's a lot out there that'd be like, puts butts in the seats. I don't care.
Had you seen Little Person do stand up before you ever started?
No,
So-
but I know that every time I think I'm the first dwarf to do something in comedy, I find out that Tanya Lee Davis has done it before. So
Tell us about her.
Tanya Lee Davis, obviously a dwarf comedian. She's a paid regular at the Comedy Store, and she's toured with Attell, and she's been at it forever, and she's great. She's amazing. She did some stuff on Last Comic Standing as well. She's awesome. I love the fact that now it's getting to a point where like Tanya Lee Davis recently reached out to me to help, to ask to get her booked on something, and I was like, no problem,
Wow.
my honor.
Nice.
Let's go. And I believe we're gonna do something at the Comedy Store where she hasn't performed there for years, and we're gonna do something where I'm on stage and then I bring her
Right.
up, and which I just love because
No, you started because Carlos Mencia
Mhm.
gave you a break. You
Yes.
were at one of his shows with your dad, right?
yes,
And-
yes, and then Mencia was on stage, started making midget jokes, and half the audience was laughing, and the audience that was sitting by me was like, not laughing. And Mencia noticed that, and he's like, "Why aren't you guys?" He goes, "What, is one of them here?" And I just raised my creepy little hand in the air, and he called me up on stage.
Had you done stand up before?
Never.
Wow.
And he called me up on stage. He's like, "I want to talk to you," and he started talking to me, and he asked me questions, and I answered the questions honestly. I wasn't trying to be funny. I just answered the questions, but my answers got laughs from the audience, and that was like, oh my god, this is the greatest feeling in the world.
Wow.
And then
Yeah,
I've heard you tell this story before, so I'm going to prompt you to it.
That's okay.
But he then saw you. You started doing stand up, and he saw you a year or so later.
yeah. A little over a year later, he saw me at the Ontario Improv. I was coming to watch his show. He saw me before the show, and he says, "Hey, you're that dude from last time." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, and I told him, I go, "I've started doing comedy since then." And he goes, "Oh my god." He goes, "Do you want to open up my show tonight?" I went, "Yeah."
Wow.
Isn't
So
that great?
so that's how I got quote unquote discovered as a guest spot, and he gave me a guest spot. I went on, did my 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it was, got off stage, and Mencia goes home. Like, I kind of put you on because I thought, oh, you're a midget, that's funny enough, he'll do fine. But then you did well, so then he asked me to open up for him on the road, and then literally the next week I was going to the Fox Theater in Bakersfield, and that's 1,400 people.
Yeah.
And doing that, and I was about a year and a half
That's
into
amazing.
comedy, and now I'm going back to the Fox Theater this year as the headliner, which
Where?
is just kind of
Fox?
a Fox Theater in Bakersfield, California.
So here's my question: like,
Mhm.
because he's a controversial figure in comedy,
Sure.
and he was so generous and good to you.
Mhm.
Where does that leave you feeling?
That
You know?
it's a feeling that I feel like we can apply to a lot of people. Right now, there's a lot of people that look for those idols, those heroes, and people get locked into a certain person,
Mhm.
and then they can't recognize the flaws that those people have. And for me, I will say that people are shades of gray. It is not black and white.
Right.
There is no pure good. There is no pure evil, unless you're Jimmy Carter or Mr. Rogers. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's pure good and there's pure evil, and people want those things to exist, and I don't think they exist. Look at our parents. Our parents are flawed people. You love them more than anything. So yes, my relationship with Mencia is that of a father, where I can look at him and be like, there's some things about you that I don't really like, but there's a lot of things that I do. And I would
Did you
not
ever have a conversation with him about it when
Mhm.
when things were going on?
Mhm.
Anything you can share from that? No.
Nope.
Okay. But I'll tell you this. I've only met him
Is he
one.
working anymore?
Yes.
I think
yes.
so.
Yeah, it works a ton.
I met him one time only at Ralphie's memorial. Ralphie May passed away.
Yeah.
And I hung with him at the bar at the Improv for a little while, and we talked. And couldn't have been a more lovely guy.
Yep.
I thought. So.
When I was on the road with him, he would pay for my flight. He would pay for my hotel. He would, if we went shopping, he would say, "Throw whatever you want onto my pile, and I got you."
Wow.
So he took very good care of me. So it's this thing where it's like, I'm not gonna come on here and say anything that changes someone's mind.
I would say
you have
this.
your mind.
I think maybe it's been a long enough time that people should give him another chance.
1000%.
I think so.
1000%.
Yeah.
By the way, there are other comedians that have been accused of doing the exact same thing, very popular ones, that just the story came and went.
Right.
It was just there, and then it was like, the next day they're
Mencia was like, this Joe Rogan guy's just gonna blow over anyway.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like when people got mad at Michael Vick coming back, where it was like, dude, Michael Vick went to jail. He paid his debt to society. I think Mencia's been in a comedy jail for long enough.
Let
to
the
where
man out.
we can go, okay.
It'd be funny if they let him out and the first thing he does is steal someone's.
But I mean, when you look at it, and when you look at quote unquote comedians that have been canceled, like, you don't think that if Bill Cosby decided to do a show tomorrow, someone would book him?
I would go. I'd go see it.
Exactly.
Would you go see it?
Yes,
Would
I'd
you?
be
No.
curious.
You wouldn't
No.
I'd be curious on what he would be talking
Is
about.
that just like a moral stance that you wouldn't go? I mean, because you wouldn't you be interested?
So I
to
wouldn't
see?
go to see the Michael Jackson play.
You
That's
wouldn't.
on Broadway.
No.
No, because it's bigger than his music now. What it's alleged and what a lot of people say he did. Cosby raped a lot of people. Supposedly, you know. I mean, I couldn't sit there, and I knew him, and he was very kind to me. I spent a good deal.
Michael
of time.
Jackson.
No, Cosby.
Oh,
I spent a good
Cosby.
deal of
Okay,
time
okay.
with him.
Oh, wow.
Could not have been nicer.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot about stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't go.
Well,
How long were you friendly with him for? Many years?
Yeah, over a period of years, I would see him. I would call him, and he'd get me into the show. We'd go backstage and talk. One night in Reno, he picked me up in a Rolls Royce after my show at the Improv, and we went riding around and chatting. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See,
yeah,
and the thing about that is I'm not gonna tell you like, no, you should go see it. It's like, no, it's everyone's own personal
That's
decision
right.
So
if they want to see it or not.
Bill Cosby did
by
a
the
show.
way, I could listen to his albums. I just wouldn't go see him. Can you see a difference there?
Yeah, because the art is already made.
It's already made.
It's already it's like it's like when someone has a mink coat,
You can make
and you're like, you should never wear that mink coat. It's like the animals are already dead. Like
Hold on a minute.
I'm not buying another
There's a
one.
good counter argument here that we're missing.
Sure.
Those albums were made in his prime drug and raping days.
Yeah.
Now he's past those days.
Those were the raping sessions.
he's in it.
Yeah, right. You got a point there.
Maybe now what you'd be seeing would be a little bit better.
Yeah,
You know?
a guy who really knows who he is now.
He's really identified.
So if I went to see him,
Mm-hmm.
would you want me to tell you like about the show?
Yeah.
Would you be okay with me filming the show
So
secretly?
could you
and
go
showing
see him
it
if
to
he
you?
did like 20 minutes on rape?
I would love to see him do time on not to
Yeah,
do
I
time.
like
I
that
mean,
sound. It's too good to pass, right?
I would
It's
go.
It's
I would
awful.
go.
It's
I would
awful.
go
but he's
because
got,
I'd be very curious to see how that goes.
You know what he would do? He would be defending himself, and it didn't really happen.
But I'd like to see what the audience reacts like. I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I'd like to see like from a social.
There's that sick
point of view.
morbid curiosity.
No, I think it's just a comedic curiosity
he
because
could
like
not perform without anyone showing up screaming something at him.
Very
during
true.
the show.
I would be very interested to see how it played out and to watch it live and to sort of psychoanalyze the situation.
Social experiment.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like
Yeah.
I would be very, very interested to see all that play out.
By the way, he was my favorite all-time comedian.
Sure.
I mean,
And that now we're living in a time where this is coming into play more and more. Where can you separate art from artist? Can you separate that from the human being? For some people they can't. For some people they can. And some people have different types of lines. I won't listen to a Chris Brown song. I will not. But I'll jam out to a Michael Jackson song. Why? I don't know. It's just
So
my own
we were
personal
talking
belief.
Michael
before we got
Jackson is
on here.
irresistibly popular.
It's just too good. Yeah, it's like, where do you draw your own personal lines? And a lot of people are having to do that now. And now there's just so much coming out about everybody that I feel like everyone's just like, if you try to lead that completely pure, like, no, I will not support any of these types of people, there's no entertainment left for you.
So you were talking earlier.
Yeah.
You bought a couple of those Kanye T-shirts, right? You're a big fan, right? You went online at the Super Bowl. You saw that swastika, man. I'm looking
Yeah,
for this.
how do you reconcile that? He told me only because he was surprised they made his size.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Shocked.
So, could you listen? Can you listen to Kanye now after?
Oh man, but Stronger is such a banger. It's hard. You know, it like that's one where
this is fresh, by the way.
yeah,
this is like a week old.
This is fresh because at the Super Bowl, Kanye West had a commercial where it was filmed on his iPhone while he was getting a grill installed, and he just said, "Hey, I wasted all the money on this grill. Ha ha. All right, go to my website." Like, that was the commercial. And then if you go to the website, the only thing that was for sale was a T-shirt with a swastika on it.
Yeah.
And all the Super Bowl people were like, "We already cleared the ad," which I think is a crock of shit.
Mhm.
They could have pulled it.
Yeah.
It's the Super Bowl.
Right.
You can't pull an ad.
They were getting a piece of that swastika money. That's what
Oh.
that was.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
I
see,
like.
Mark and I had somebody on the other day, and she was talking about her parents were Holocaust survivors,
Mhm.
and I made the joke, because she said she was so furious about those shirts. I said I bought a few of them, and she's not a comedian,
Mm.
and she did not like. And Mark gave me the like
Yeah,
don't do
I could see that.
You know, so
I could
like-
see that, and then you spoke at the 9/11 victims
Yeah.
dinner that night, and then you. Oh
do you
my
think
god!
Cosby's a skilled enough comedian that he could sell
Not
the
now.
audience now?
No,
That he could sell the audience on the rape material?
no way.
No.
No, not now. And I mean, I don't like
Because
not ever.
He's such a gentle delivery.
Which is
like
which is ironic for the act.
right. But I mean,
Well, you know,
if he was sitting down, like when I saw him at Lincoln Center, he was doing a Thanksgiving show. It was a 3-hour show, the greatest 3-hour stand-up show I've ever seen live, ever.
Mhm.
I was in college. I went to see him in Lincoln Center. It was only Thanksgiving
Who's this?
material. Bill Cosby.
yeah, okay.
He did only material about Thanksgiving for 3 straight hours.
Right.
And it flew by, and he sat the whole time. He
Right.
didn't even get up. He was
Yeah.
sitting in an
Well,
armchair
without
with
raping,
a
he's
carpet on the
exhausted.
exhausted.
You know
from
what I
rape.
mean? Yeah.
That's
Pulled a
not-
hammy earlier
Wait a
that
minute.
day.
That's drugged raping. That's not energized raping. There's not.
You're really gonna
You
break
still
this
gotta
down?
Climb on, climb off.
Okay.
Probably a bad.
You have any experience with this
I
that we
do
can?
not. I do
Okay,
not,
just
sir.
So I was
curious.
I was backstage with him at the Garden State Art
Yeah.
Center in New Jersey. It's
Yeah.
15,000 people. I'm in
Uh-huh.
the dressing room, and the guy, knocks on the dressing room doors. Mr. Cosby, 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, "All right, Mark, you better go get your seat."
Mhm.
So I said to him, "How long are you going to do tonight?" He said, "Between 2 and 3 hours."
Mhm.
How's that for not knowing if you're going to do 2 or 3?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the third hour would be just as good. It's
I was.
by the way, talking about
unbelievable.
material that people make things work.
Yeah.
I saw Jim Gaffigan. We did a show in New York, and I said to him, "You're one of the few people. He has a routine about his wife's brain tumor.
Mhm.
It's like
Uh-huh.
a long routine."
Yeah.
And I said, that's a difficult subject to make fun of. He goes, "Well, because she lived, I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she didn't make it, difficult to pull
Much
that one
harder,
off."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's certain topics that when they come up, I mean, if you're in it, sometimes it could be too personal. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit. But sometimes when you do those jokes about it, it can be very therapeutic. So
Have you ever gone on doing a set without mentioning your little person?
Yeah.
And
didn't go well.
really, what the audience is thinking? Does he even know?
Exactly. That is like you're joking, but
No,
yes,
I'm not joking. I
Yes.
mean, really, they're thinking, when
because
is he going to get to it?
they all wanted to hear about it.
Yeah.
So it's very. Once I did that, I did it a couple times, and I was like, no, because there were some comedians that were like, you should go on and do no, jokes about it at all, and prove that you could. And I go and at the end, I tried it, didn't work, and at the end, I was like, for what?
For what?
Mm-hmm.
Proving for what?
It's your gift.
Yeah, my job is to make
Yeah,
the audience
that's right.
laugh.
Right.
If the audience is looking at me like, okay, there's this thing, and then I also realized that I have a perspective and a life that a lot of people are curious about that don't have any access to. For a lot of people, I'm their only dwarf friend, and so any questions they have, any questions they have, any experiences that their complete understanding about what it is to be a little person is coming from me.
What is the most surprising thing about being a little person that I would be shocked to find?
The huge.
That is surprising.
Is there something like
you'll
really,
bleep that, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's fun. It'll still work.
It'll still work.
I'm glad you said
the joke,
yeah,
the joke will still work.
Is there something?
Surprising.
People want to know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, so there's things that you wouldn't realize until you live it, and then you go, "Huh." Didn't know that was a thing. Like the amount of times I've checked into a hotel room, gone in to take a shower, looked up and went, well, crap. Because the shower head was pointed some other direction. And I'm like, well, I can't adjust that. Right. So now I have to call, like the front desk and have them literally come up and adjust the shower. So like things like that. Like everyone probably knows, like, hey, driving, I can't just hop into a car and drive. Clothes, little difficult. A lot of stuff has to be tailored. There's kids, not too fun. They see me, and a lot of them have comments. So a lot of people know that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's those types of things that people go like, oh wow, I never even.
Do you know the book Letters from a Nut?
Letters from a Nut.
Okay, so
I do not.
It came out many years ago, but it's different letters that this guy wrote to different organizations, funny stuff. And one, he claims that he was a little person. He wrote to the Beverly Hills Hotel and asked them if they could change all the furniture in the room.
Sure.
When he needs a shorter dresser, he needs a bed, and in a very polite way, they turned down his request.
Yes,
but it's a very funny letter.
I bet. Yeah, it's well, like, and one thing that I was taught from a very young age by my parents, who are not little people, my parents are tall, is that the world will not adjust to me. I have to adjust to the world. I feel like there's a lot of people nowadays that want the entire world to adjust to their needs and their wants and their desires, and everyone needs to live in their exact comfortable little bubbles. And but me, that's not my mentality. My mentality is the world is out there. I will adjust to the world. I will make it work.
So when you were in school, I know as I was in school, they used to make us line up size place.
Sure.
Did they do that with you?
Yeah, it was great. I always knew where to go.
Did they?
It's fine.
Ever?
All right, I'm in the front.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Do you think it bothered them at all?
No.
And you were perfectly okay.
I was fine with it. I always had I've always had a pretty good attitude about it.
How do you think that happened?
Oh, my dad. Absolutely my dad. Because my dad knew that as a little person, I'd be made fun of in school. So he always taught me to have the first joke and always have a better comeback. Oh. So when I would meet people, I usually try to make a dwarf joke, try to break the ice, let them know, hey, I'm cool. I'm fine. It's okay. And then also, but if someone ever does make fun of me, I will wreck you. My comeback will be better. Yeah. And this was from like day one of going to school. My dad and I would sit and literally write comebacks for.
Wow. Your dad was your original writing partner.
Exactly. And he was a trial lawyer, so kind of a little bit of a public speaker himself, and definitely could hold his own. Can hold his own in an argument. So. Yeah. Oh, I wrecked kids growing up.
You told a very sweet story that I hope it's okay that I relay.
That's fine.
We did the comedy fantasy camp together this year.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's where a bunch of people pay money to get tips on how to do comedy from comedians that are doing it. And this year we had comedians like myself, Jay Leno, Adam Carolla, Natasha Leggero, like you, some legit comedians and who know how to do it. And I just want to take time to when I announced I was doing this, there were some people that wrote. There's always people that hate online, but there's some people that wrote some hate online, like, this is a scam. And it's like, never in this camp did we say you will come to this camp and you will become a star. All we said was, hey, you're gonna get some tips from Jay freaking Leno. So how about it?
Last year I did it for the first time. This was my second time doing it. I had such a wonderful time.
Yeah.
And I learned so much by teaching. And then I watched all the other comedians when they give their lecture. I watched you this year. and you were phenomenal.
Thank you.
Actually, probably my favorite
Oh, thank you.
from both years. I took some notes from what you said.
Ooh, thank you.
And I've been doing this for a long time. There were things that you said that I never thought of.
Mhm.
I'll tell you one of them.
Sure.
You said that you took you years to figure out to write from different perspectives.
Yeah.
When you write a joke,
I
never. Did you ever?
I
think
still
about
I
this?
still
No.
forget this. So the whole concept is when you write a joke and you tell a story, it's like oftentimes you write the joke from your perspective, or maybe the perspective of the bank teller or whatever. When writing a joke, to get the most out of it, take into consideration every single perspective of whatever that story is. So if you're at the bank teller, okay, what's your perspective? What's the bank teller's perspective? What's the person in the line's perspective? What's the perspective of the bank robber that comes in halfway through? Like what's every perspective? The person you're talking to, yours, and then the outside perspective. Consider every single perspective when you're writing a joke. And
Woody Allen talked about that.
Yeah?
Same thing 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
He said when you're writing a bit, let's say I'm bringing some clothes to the cleaners.
Mhm.
I'm at home. I got to think about what clothes I'm going to bring, how dirty they are, how did I get to the cleaners,
Mhm.
who's behind the desk at the cleaners, when I'm going to get it back, what I'm going to be like when I go get it back. And he
Right.
looks at it. And by the way, that's a great marriage tip too, because this is
Yeah.
something I try to do. When I argue with my wife,
Mhm.
I try to go in the other room and think about it from her perspective.
Mhm.
You become her lawyer, is what you do. You start defending her
Uh-huh.
as if you're her lawyer to hear her side of it, because you're not going to hear it from her
Yeah.
the way you like it.
And then you come back and you
And
still
beat the
lose the
hell out of
argument.
Because she's got a bad lawyer
Yeah.
and she
You're
lost
wasting
the case.
money. Yeah, wasting
Yeah.
money on this bad lawyer.
But yeah,
So-
it works like that.
Yeah, so
I mean,
that's
I've done
a
it
fun tip.
unconsciously in some jokes over the years, but
Sure.
I never consciously sat and thought about writing from all these perspectives. And
Yeah.
and now I am, thanks to you.
Have you
Oh,
ever gone
but
on
cool.
without mentioning your weight?
Same thing as him. I was thinking it. I wasn't going to interrupt the conversation because you guys had a good thing going. But
Mhm.
same thing. I've done it. It's done nothing for me because people look at it and go, "Does he not realize how big he is?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So this is the
Um,
question that you probably know or you've been asked it, is that do you keep the weight going because you're afraid of losing the act?
100%. Every time I start losing weight, I panic. I don't want to lose certain jokes. I go out. I eat a burger.
But don't you think because you're a comedian, you're going to come up with
I'm
stuff?
only kidding with you.
Okay,
Of
good.
course,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
No.
staying overweight for those jokes.
No,
But some people might.
He stays overweight because junk food is delicious and running sucks.
Yes.
That's why you stay overweight.
That should be the title of your book.
Running sucks.
No, yeah, junk food is delicious. Running sucks.
Running
End
sucks.
of story.
Yeah,
End of story.
that's it. That's why.
So-
That's why we are where we are.
By the
Just
way,
to
your
re-
hat is one of my favorite hats.
Oh,
I wear hats all the time, and I have about 7 versions of that.
hell yeah! It's called Boston Scully. They send me them all the time. They're a great company. Anyway,
By the
you
way-
had something.
Now I'm going to say this because how many times people have told us on the show this company sends me stuff. That company, no company ever sends me stuff. My whole
Nothing.
life.
Have you asked?
Actually, it's not true. One company sent me stuff when I got robbed. Rode. That's the only company. Rode audio equipment. RODE.
Yeah,
I'll give them a shout. They send
Rode
me stuff.
microphones are great.
But they don't continually send me stuff. But anyway, that's fine. I don't want to hold it against them.
Ask
Literally, everybody's sending everybody stuff. I'm
Yes.
sitting at home. No one ever sends me nothing.
You sound like Red Buttons now.
Oh yeah.
Nobody ever sends me anything.
I don't even
all
know
I
what
do
buttons
is
are.
ask, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm going out to buy some sort of big thing,
Yeah.
or if I see something advertised to me on Instagram where I'm like, oh, that's really cool. The first thing I do is I slip into that company's DMs and go, hey, look at my follower count. Do you want to send me free stuff? And I'll tweet about it.
Wow,
and they're
that's
like,
smart.
yes, we will. Here's a care package.
Wow.
This
So you have
this
to-
watch was sent to me for free
No
Really?
kidding.
by Original Grain. Let's give them a plug.
Do you get stuff for free? It's
great.
I don't get stuff even from my family. Nothing. I get nothing from anybody. Am I supposed to?
They all take. They just take.
Take.
Anyway, I'll go back to what I was originally.
I
gonna
have a
say.
friend
Yeah?
who gets sneakers from Nike,
Yeah.
and they asked me if I want.
I know who that
because they have
friend
like
is. I
400,
think.
400 different
Yeah.
pair they have.
Can I say who it is? I think
You could?
Seinfeld.
No,
It's not Seinfeld getting Nikes.
I don't think he gets free sneakers.
Well, he's always wearing Nikes.
Yeah, he loves them.
He has cash.
He's got a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
He can afford
All
to buy
right.
something.
Yeah. He's
All
fine.
Even if you offered it to him, I don't think he would take
But
it.
would it be the same size shoe? Is his friend the same size foot as you?
They could get it. They say, "Would you like something? I can ask for it." And,
And you say no?
Pretty much so, yeah.
You fool.
I am stupid.
Get free things.
You could be getting all these.
It's
shoes.
awesome.
Somebody offered me a car once, and I turned it down. And
Why?
well, I ended up getting it the next time they offered it, but
Can I guess
for
who that
free?
is? I'm just kidding.
Seinfeld.
he gave me a Mercedes.
He gave you a Mercedes?
But he offered me a car before that, and
Yeah.
I turned it down because it was low self-esteem. I didn't think I was worth the gift. He goes, "Would you like this?" And I go, I felt crazy.
Did you not want to owe him anything? Like you felt like if you took it, that you'd be owing him something?
It was a mix of that and like, I can't take something of this magnitude from somebody. It's too much. And then somebody told me the truth. They go, if somebody offers you something, it's because they want to give it to you.
Yes.
And it make them feel good to give it to you.
Yes.
He actually offered another car, and I said, absolutely, I'll take it.
I will take
Then you
it.
made him upgrade it, didn't you?
Right. So he said to me, it's true. He said to me, there's only one problem with this Mercedes. The radio isn't working well. Do you want me to fix it, and then you'll take it, or you would take it like this? I said, you might as well fix it. So he,
And while you're at it, reupholster the thing.
Yeah. Change the
it's one of
oil.
my favorite cars.
Give a new transmission.
So here's the thing I was going to bring up that you
Sure.
said when you talked at Comedy Fantasy Camp. You talked about, and I thought this was a very amazing, touching thing, that your father was on his deathbed
Yes.
and he listened to your comedy records.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to hear more about that, so I thought I'll ask you here.
Sure. Knowing that, I would be visiting my dad, and my mom would come in and tell me, goes, when you leave, he goes, Alexa, play Brad Williams comedy, and
Wow.
and he would listen to it, and that meant the world, because obviously it's like as comedians, our whole goal is to entertain, our whole goal is to make people feel better, and if I could offer my dad any kind of laughter during that time, done. I would do all that and then some. And just how many of us strive? Some of us become strippers because we don't have our father's love. So the fact that I know, got it. He liked it. I made him happy.
Yeah.
I made him proud. I'm good.
That is the sweetest thing I think I've ever heard of any comedian's story.
Yeah, it's really a good thing, and when it happened, I really took solace in it. Here's how much death sucks, though. Here's how much death sucks. My dad got the absolute dream death that you would that you'd wish upon your friend if you had the option. Surrounded by his family, in his home, like the whole thing, and his kids are great. They all have. He got to meet his grandkids. Me and my sister are doing really well, independently of each other. He got everything that you would want in that scenario, and yet still dead. It still sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
It still sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did he have an illness?
yeah. He had Lou Gehrig, whatever the.
Oh, yeah, Lou Gehrig's.
Yeah. Lou Gehrig's disease, and not MS. What is it?
It's something L.A.
I should know. It killed
Yeah.
my dad. But anyway. But yes.
By
It's
the
horrible,
way,
by the
I had a similar situation.
Mm-hmm.
My father had less than 2 weeks to live,
Mm-hmm.
and we knew he was dying. And I had a show to do upstate New York, about an hour from New York City. And he said to me, "Can I?"
ALS. Sorry.
ALS.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Can I come with you tonight?"
Mm-hmm.
And my mother said to me, "If you think you can handle him,
Mm-hmm.
because he was very weak,
Yeah.
then he can go." And I said, "I can do it." And we drove up together. And
Mm-hmm.
he said to me, "Tonight, I want you to do all that stuff about your mom that you do." And it was really something.
That's great.
And I remember him now. He was so sick that he was losing his vision too. And he was sitting with sunglasses on in the little nightclub.
Yeah.
And I can see him from the stage, just sitting by himself, a little thin guy, now lost all his weight and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it, and he was so happy to have come to my show. And he knew it was over for him.
That's great.
Yeah, so
That
Wow.
to do something like that, and now as a parent myself, I now put myself into that scenario as well, and just knowing how much comfort it would give me if I was in the same situation and I went to my kid and went, hey, I want to go, see you do your thing, or I want to listen to whatever you do, whatever my kid ends up doing. Unless she's a porn star, then I won't, want to go see it in person or anything.
Yeah.
But just how proud I would be. And so, I'm very thankful for that
You talk
moment.
about your dad in your act?
Mm-hmm.
So did you have to deal with that, like after he passed?
Yeah.
You're dealing?
Oh, I haven't talked about that yet. I haven't, it's almost 3 years. And I haven't talked about that yet. It still can't. But I did do my second special. It's on Amazon Prime or YouTube. It's called Daddy Issues. I talk about how my dad got skin cancer. It looked really bad, and all about that. And then when I was filming that special, I know my dad's in the audience. The audience does not know my dad's in the audience, and I'm like telling myself as I'm doing the jokes about him fighting cancer. And I know that he's there, and my whole time I go, don't look at him, don't look at him, don't look at him, because if you look at him, you're gonna lose it.
Right.
And then of course I look at him, and I lose it.
Wow.
But then,
And they filmed it?
yeah, and then in the moment, I got to tell him, because I've lost my train of thought, I've lost my jokes, and all I got to do is say, hey, thank you for everything that you've done, thank you for everything that you did. And I had that real moment, and I got that captured on the special.
Wow.
And it's
That's a very special.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Where, my most recent one, Starfish, on YouTube, over 4.5 million views, whatever. But it's great,
Congrats.
and I love it.
Yeah.
But nothing. I don't know if anything could ever be that special in terms of how it affects me personally.
What was your dad's name?
Pete.
What was your dad's name?
Julian.
Yeah.
Julie.
Oh.
I did a Showtime special a week after my father died. I was already booked. You book like
Yeah.
6 months in advance for this.
Yeah.
And I did it with Tim Allen and Bobby Slayton and a couple other people.
Bunch of nobodies. Yeah.
Yeah, up in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And they came to me before the show. So the director came and said, listen, I know your father passed last week.
Yeah.
And I know you do stuff about him. Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I can do it. And I'm out there, and I'm doing a routine on him. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I can get through this right now.
Yeah.
This thing. But you do it. You do what you have to do.
Yeah.
And that's what he would want me to do.
Yeah, and that's what you try to remember. When my dad passed, I had to go on the next week. I was opening a show in Vegas for Cirque du Soleil. I was the first comedian ever hired by Cirque du Soleil to do stand-up. Let me be clear. To do stand-up comedy in a Cirque du Soleil show. I wasn't being fired out of a cannon going, wee wee.
Like you're the first. Have there been others since?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because there's a show called Mad Apple, and it's running at New York, and there's always a comedian in it, and I was the first one.
Wow.
They hired me, and then but then when when we knew that it was coming to the end for Dad, they were very gracious, and they let me obviously go, even though we had all these rehearsals and things going on. But then I came back, and some people were like, "Don't you need more time?" And I go, "No, I need more. I don't need more time to sit in this." And also, my dad wouldn't want me to. He'd be like, "Get the f out there and do the show." So
Right.
I did, and it was so wonderful to go, because stand up, as we all know, is a very lonely activity. You're lonely on the road, you're lonely on stage, but being in that show was great because it's the first time I've been a part of an ensemble, and so while I was going through all that, I had people around me that were there
Somersaulting.
Yeah, a lot of them. Okay, here's how crazy it is to be a stand-up comedian. There's at one point during the show one night, the show is called Mad Apple. It's still going on at New York. At one point, the light board malfunctions, and everything goes down, and it takes about 15 minutes for this thing to get reset. And so there's just a work light on stage. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Well, it takes 15 minutes for the light board to get reset." I go, "Do the mics still work?" They go, "Yeah." And I go, "Give me a microphone."
Yeah.
So they hand me a microphone. I run out there, and then I do 10-15 minutes of stand up to keep the audience going, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, They show me a light that goes like, all right, we're ready to go. I fire the crowd back up. I say, all right, we're getting ready. We're gonna do Mad Apple. It's gonna be the best night of your life. And the whole place goes nuts. I walk off stage. I'm met by this Russian hand balancer. Now first of all, he looks like he's chiseled out of granite. But then he goes on top of a 30-foot high platform and literally balances on his hands on different types of platforms, and he's walking around. Yeah. It's incredible what this guy does. And I get off stage. This guy's looking at me dumbfounded and just goes, I have no idea how you do what you do.
Right.
We do jokes.
Yeah.
That's what we do. If I tell a joke and it bombs, all right, I got another joke. If you mess up at your job, Russian hand balancer, you're dead.
Right.
Yeah.
You're dead. You fall to your death in front of a cheering audience.
I had somebody say that yesterday. I mean, that's an amazing. I love that, the juxtaposition between that guy and you. Yesterday just reminded me. I was in Irvine, doing a Jewish thing, and this woman comes up to me.
Shopping?
No, she comes up to me and she says, so you're a comedian. She goes, how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it? She says, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. And she just kept repeating it. And I said, I don't know how I do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I do it. And she looked offended. I was trying to be playful.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she goes, just like that. And she walked away. I said, all right.
And sometimes I don't know how I do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been backstage and I got to go out. There's a couple of thousand people. I'm going, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Just one person?
I still don't know how to start.
Right.
I've been in it 20 years. I don't know how to start.
Right.
How do you walk out and announce to people, hey, y'all, I know there's 1,200 people here, but y'all need to shut up for about an hour and a half and just let me talk.
Isn't that wild?
That's insane, the amount of ego that we have to be able to walk out on stage
without
and
even
do
the
that.
talking part, just having people be quiet for an hour and a half.
Well, that's something that
Especially now.
Seinfeld says. He says, when you go out, you better have something more important than they have to say.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not going to keep quiet.
Yeah. So the answer to anyone watching, we don't know how we do it.
We don't.
We just,
We
but
just do
but
it.
I know that I can't do anything else.
Right.
I
We know we have to do something.
I got to do something, and this is it. I'm 40. I don't have a college degree. I've never had a job outside of this that would be considered a career. I cannot do anything else.
You have no B plan.
No B plan.
No B plan.
So the only thing I can do is this. So it's like I better be good at
I
it.
can only do this and hand balancing. That's it.
Oh wow!
That's
Okay, so you figured that out. Yeah, good for you. By the way, I would pay so much money if you could hand balance.
So would I.
I have a hard enough time foot balancing.
Yeah, my God, dude, we had one time, we had one time at the Cirque du Soleil show, the closing act is called the Wheel of Death, and a guy, it looks like a hamster wheel, and a guy is in it, but the thing is going around in circles. And it goes way up high in the air, and it comes back, and he's in the middle of this thing as it's doing it. It's incredible. And my whole thing is I have to go on to close the show right after him. So I would watch this guy every night. He gets on top of it. He does jump rope on top of the Wheel of Death.
Wow.
It's insane what this guy does.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him, and I'm getting ready to go. And he does this thing where he hops off the wheel, then he grabs on, and then he uses the momentum as it's going around in circles to flip himself on top of the wheel. So now he's on top of the wheel. And as he's doing that, his grip slips. He flies up in the air, lands on the stage. He's okay.
Wow.
He's not dead, but he's not great.
Yeah.
And people come out, and they get him. They do the thing where they throw up an X sign, which means this is for real. And they go get him, and they walk off stage. And then I hear in the earpiece, "Okay, Brad, go."
Wow.
And I'm like, what the hell? What the? So I walk on stage. They've just seen, you know, you could tell something went wrong.
You don't know if he's alive or not.
Yeah, you don't know, and all I could do, because the guy's name is Jose, and we announced it before. All I could do was I walked on stage and went, "Hey, round of applause for Jose, everyone! Round of applause for Jose!" Everyone claps. Everyone claps, and then I stop and go, "Oh, God bless Jose." And you know what? It's true what they say. Mexicans really do all the jobs that no other people will do. And the place,
That's great.
the place rolls, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Now
That's
I'm saying that joke not knowing if my friend Jose is okay or not.
Right.
You had to.
But I had to.
You had to.
Because you do it. And that's the thing about being a comic that I think a lot of non-comedians will never understand, is that for comedians, whenever we make an inappropriate joke or a joke that doesn't fly, or like, how could you say something like that? Oh, we're not thinking about anything but the joke.
Right.
The joke is the only thing we are thinking about. We're not thinking about how it is offensive, non-offensive, but it's just like, is
100%.
Is the joke a good joke?
Yeah.
I will laugh at things that I do not agree with because I'll go, that's a good joke.
That's right.
Like, but and people go like, can you believe you said that? I go, yeah, I did, because that's a good joke.
Right.
Like, that's his job. We only think about the joke.
That's right.
And that is something that when I'm around my wife's friends and like when I'm at school functions, I have to like rewire my brain. We just had a party at the house, and like there were a bunch of non-comedians there, and they saw me in the party, but I was being,
Right.
loud and boisterous and whatever. And they go, I thought you were so angry because when you walk around the neighborhood, you're very quiet. And I go, yeah, because if I'm like stage Brad all the
Right.
time,
Yeah, it would be crazy.
it'd be horrible.
Horrible. For you, for
I'd
the
be
family.
such an a-hole.
As a case in point is that woman when I said that I bought the Kanye T-shirts and she was horrified. Yeah, I just went for the joke.
That's just the joke. Because in your head, you're like, well,
Yeah.
what would be the biggest juxtaposition I could say
Right.
in this
Well, you're
moment?
rolling the dice when you're dealing with this one person.
Every time.
Right.
If you had a whole audience, if one or two didn't like it,
Yeah, that's
but
right.
here you're going head on.
Yeah.
I had a show. I did a Passover show many years ago, and a guy dropped dead during my act. Fell off his chair, laying there, and there were all these people around him. So I did this Marx Brother line. I said, "Could you get more people around him so he can't breathe at all?"
Mhm.
And then afterwards, they took him out.
Yeah.
They announced that he didn't make it.
Wait.
And
Just sorry to stop you.
Yeah.
When you say they announced, how?
Somebody came out and they said, "Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's a big thing, but he didn't make it. He passed away."
Okay.
Mark, please come and continue. And I have like another 20 minutes left to go.
And you'd already ripped on the situation.
Well, I
Yeah.
said, listen, you talk about killing an audience.
Yeah.
And they were very willing to go along with it.
Wow.
One thing I've noticed is that if a crowd can see that it is a unusual situation,
Yeah.
that this is not like the norm, a lot of times they will bond together and be like, "Hey guys, let's really make the best of this." Their mentality will be like,
Listen, how many times
yeah.
have we all done shows when a horrible thing has happened in the news that day?
yeah,
I mean, something, a plane goes down, or you just
Right.
don't do that material, but they know what's going on.
man. I remember this is on this past tour. We were doing 2 shows. In between the 2 shows at the theater was when the Trump assassination attempt happened.
Mhm.
And we were like, we still didn't know, like, is he all right? Is it not okay? Like, we're all checking our phones. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then as everyone is filing in, we're like, oh my God, they all know. Like, they all know what's happening. So we did and a lot of us have Trump jokes in our act.
Uh-huh.
So we're just like, okay. And we're in a red state.
Yeah.
I remember we were in a red state at the time. I don't know what city. So, like, I got on the microphone off stage and go, hey, guys, we all know what's happened.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a damn good comedy show. We expect that if you are in our audience, you want a comedy show and you want us to try to make you laugh. We could deal with all of that afterward, but for right now, we're all going to laugh and have a good time. Are you guys ready for a great damn show?
Yeah!
And everyone cheered. And we're
Sure,
like,
of course.
cool. And then everyone did the jokes that we did. that we had written, obviously way before that particular event,
Yeah.
and it went great.
Okay.
It went awesome. But there's a time when like the audience could kind of figure out like, oh yeah, that would be weird to have to talk about that.
Well, I
So
remember,
there was a comedian in the 60s. His name was Vaughn Meter.
Okay.
And Vaughn Meter made his entire act on doing John F. Kennedy material.
wow.
And he has an album called
Yeah.
The First Family, where he plays John, and then they got the wife and the kids and
Yeah.
all that. So he had a show to do.
Mm-hmm.
Lenny Bruce had a show to do the night that John Kennedy was killed.
Yeah.
Okay? He went out, and his opening line was, "There goes Vaughn Meter's career."
and it was true.
Absolutely true. The guy
Yeah.
never could work again after that. It was a perfect line.
He was like hit by the shrapnel. His
Yeah.
career was hit by the shrapnel of the
Unbelievable.
assassination.
Oh, I've
Is
heard
he still around, Von Meter? Is he still alive?
Maybe, but he never really.
for
He
the
never recovered.
He's
Yeah.
gonna make a comeback with Mencia. I have a feeling.
Von Meter and Mencia.
Put them both
For the
together.
for the sake of Adam Ray, I hope nothing happens to Dr. Phil.
Oh my god.
No, thankfully he's a very talented comedian. He's got a
Yeah,
lot.
he'll be okay.
Yeah,
I saw Rich Little
he'll
last
be all
year.
right.
When
Yes!
we used to do the Tropicana.
In Vegas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
I saw him too.
He had the 6 o'clock show.
Yes,
Right.
it was
So,
great.
I love Rich Little. He had worked with more famous people than anyone in the history of show business.
When you play an inauguration, that
Yeah.
means you've hit a certain level of comedian. And Rich Little has played
It was
multiple
amazing. Yeah. And he would show
inaugurations.
this little video of him with everybody you could ever imagine of that day.
Uh-huh.
But he would still do the impressions of John Wayne and Frank Sinatra and all these people. And a lot of the audience was really young, like
Mhm.
22, 25,
Mhm.
and they had never seen any John Wayne movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they were a bit lost.
They didn't even see John Wayne as Genghis Khan, one of the greatest.
The Green Beret.
For you young kids listening, go look up John Wayne playing Genghis Khan in a movie. It is awesome because you have John Wayne, who did not change anything about the accent. They put a couple of black hairs on him and said, "Yeah, he looks like an Asian person."
Hey,
Tony Curtis in was it in the 10 Commandments or Spartacus?
Yeah,
He sounds like he's right out of Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yo, Spartacus, what's going on?
Yeah, John.
Spartacus.
Yeah, John Wayne's up there like, all right, Pilgrim, we gotta go defeat the Mongols, and you're like, what is that? Hollywood was weird back in the day. It was very weird.
Yeah,
By the way, that was a good impression.
that was a very good
Thank
impression.
you.
Who else you do? Anybody?
Oh man, I do people that no one knows. I do my manager, whose name is Barry Katz. He's
I know Barry, I think.
oh my god, he's a classic comedy manager. He loves you. He thinks you're brilliant. He thinks you're one of the great comedic voices of our
Very good,
time.
Barry, yeah.
I do Orny Adams, which if you know him, great.
Let
But
me hear your Orny Adams.
so when I do Orny, it's gotta be really angry. Oh my god,
Excellent.
how are you not having me on this show? You have
Wow.
Brad Williams and not me. Orny, was he in Comedian?
Has
Anyway.
anyone heard
great.
that?
Yes,
great.
Orny loves it.
You gotta
Yeah.
love it.
I come
And
in.
by the way, he's an incredibly funny guy.
Great guy. And then I come into the green room and we always do. We did last time I did a show with Orny. It was me and Orny Adams in the green room arguing as Orny in front of and oh god, just front of a whole green room of people, and it was so much fun.
How did you come to that Orny impression? Almost has a little Jimmy Stewart in it, right? Like there's a little.
Oh, little
right?
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, there's a little like.
Stewart. It's slower.
Yeah, that's a good Jimmy Stewart.
Excellent.
It's a very good
And then you
impression.
speed it up, and then you get to Orny. Like
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
So most of my impressions are the impression of someone else's impression. So Jimmy Stewart, my Jimmy Stewart is Dana Carvey doing Jimmy Stewart.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to do too many original voices, but once someone shows me how to do the voice,
Right.
Then-
They unlock it for you.
yeah, then I could go, oh, that's how you do it. Like
Uh-huh.
so, like no one knew how to do a Charles Barkley impression, and then once Frank Caliendo did terrible, now everyone uses that as the word that like gets them into the
But
impression.
you're really good at the
Thank you.
impressions.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
When I could find one, and when I could find one, it's really good. Like I do a lot of old ones that no one knows. Like there's a radio personality out here in Los Angeles named Ralph Garman, and he showed me how to do an Ed Wynn impression. You may know who Ed Wynn is.
Of course I do.
Yeah, you don't know who Ed Wynn is.
I don't.
Ed
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. He was in Mary Poppins. Basically, his voice is like this.
Yeah.
He's the Mad Hatter, don't you know?
Yeah.
So you Mary on birthday to you. Like it's just that.
He sings "I Like to Laugh" in the movie.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like but like Ralph taught me how to do that impression.
How
So
do you
By the
do
way,
Barry
Ed
Katz?
Wynn-
Can you?
yeah, what's that?
Go ahead.
Ed Wynn
Okay, Edwin.
did great turn of drama in a play written by Rod Serling.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
he was a tremendous
Dramatic actor?
too. Yes.
I just can't imagine Ed Wynn like
I know.
Stella. Like,
And then he had
just doing
his-
Glenn
his
Ross.
son Keenan Wynn
Yeah.
was his son, and
He named his son Keenan Wynn.
Absolutely.
What a great name.
How do you do a Barry Katz
I do the
impression? Can you
Cowardly
teach?
Lion, by the way.
Ooh.
Oh.
The Cowardly Lion.
Yeah, let me
I
hear.
know.
Oh God. Hold on. If I was the king of the forest, you have to gargle. Like if I was the king of the forest. How do you do a Barry Katz
Yeah.
impression? All right. So, first of all, you have to get the teeth way forward. You have to put your teeth way. I don't know how. It's just like you put the teeth forward, man,
Yeah.
and then you have to pull your voice back, and like you put the record player at half speed.
Half speed. Like that.
Kinda. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Man. So man is the word. A lot of impressions have the trigger word that help you get into it.
Yeah.
For me, it's man, and then
Man.
that's the
Yeah.
one that gets me with Barry. Where like, okay, now I can figure that out. I don't like to do impressions on stage because, like I said, I don't know too many people. I don't do impressions of like really popular people. Like I don't want to do a walk-in. Like everyone does a walk-in, and I'll never do it as good as Jay Moore or Kevin Pollak. So like, but
Yeah.
the ones like a guy like Frank Caliendo who does not just the impression but then a good bit on top of the impression.
That's the best.
That's the secret, because like I remember, I won't say the comedian's name, but like there was some comedian I saw one time that did an impression of Adam Sandler, but there was there was nothing behind it. He was
Right.
just like he was just like, all right, here's Adam Sandler at his job. Habity hoobity. And I was just
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's
Yeah.
like
you gotta
it's
have
not.
You gotta have some writing there.
Yes,
Yes.
So you got to have something. You got to have an original take on it, or a original bit. That's why like a guy like Caliendo is so good, because the impressions are masterful, but then he'll actually write a good bit behind it, where even if the impression wasn't good, it would get a great laugh. But if the impression is good and there's a good bit, you're gonna destroy that.
I love Barry Katz. I interviewed him, by the way, on my old podcast.
I remember.
You heard it?
No,
Oh no, you're doing him.
I remember being here, and I told you to hop on a treadmill.
He's such a he's
So much fun.
he's an insightful guy, and
Yep.
he's like a very interesting. I've said to Mark, I think we should have him on this podcast too.
It'd be the longest podcast you've ever had.
But he talks comedy like very
Sorry.
few people can talk comedy the way he can talk
Wow.
comedy.
Well, because he's managed everybody.
Right.
He's managed, Chappelle, Brewer, Dane, Whitney, Louis, so many people, and then you throw a little Brad Williams in there.
Yeah.
He's got me too. So it's
Yeah.
Has
it's
he got the Broadway Danny Rose syndrome?
what's that one?
Well, you ever see the movie, Woody Allen's movie?
No,
It's
no,
probably
no,
the
no.
best movie he ever did, practically.
Really?
And, Woody
More
plays-
than Annie Hall.
Broadway Danny Rose. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that movie. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Woody plays a manager,
Okay.
and he's very upset because as soon as people make it, they leave him.
Yes.
But he's leaving. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I brought him so far. He's gone now.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So
Yeah. That's the thing.
that's a hard thing when you nurture someone along and then
Sure.
they're gone.
Yeah, and I imagine for a lot of agents and managers, that's kind of what happens. For me, Barry's been the only real manager I've ever had, because I'm really big on loyalty. If you show, I just recently got a new agent after having the same agent for all 20 years of my career, and
Wow.
the only reason why I don't have him anymore is because he retired.
Oh, wow.
That's it. So for me, loyalty is really big. If you stick your neck out for me, then yeah, I'm there.
Mark's son is an agent.
Hmm?
My
Oh,
son's an agent at CAA.
wow.
And I tell people I know he's a good agent because he won't return my calls.
He goes toxic. Can't
Yeah.
get
Hate
involved
him.
with that guy. That's interesting that he decided to go on that side of the business.
Yeah.
So he never wanted to be a comedian.
No, He handles Shane Gillis and other people.
He handles Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're doing okay.
He's doing okay. He's
Yeah.
doing okay.
Yeah.
He's got a
That's
lot of
awesome.
Really big people.
That's fantastic, man. No, I love it. It bringing that up. You're like your son is an agent. I'm so excited. The thing about being a parent that excites me the most is what will my daughter get into? What's her thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I found my thing, comedy. It's wonderful. Now my job as a father is to make sure my daughter finds her thing and then is able to do it however she wants to. And that's my goal. Is just
Will
make
you help her try to find her thing?
yeah, whatever it is, man. It's like it doesn't have to be something I like. People go like, "Well, do you want her to get into comedy?" I go, frankly, no. It's a very hard business, and
And,
it's tough.
In the Jewish religion, there's a
Mhm.
a thing that's written where it literally says you're supposed to teach your child how to swim.
Yeah.
Because if they don't know how to swim, they could drown.
Yeah.
So it's your job to teach them things to protect them, and it's your job, they talk about, to help them find their way for work,
Yeah.
if at all possible.
Yeah, so that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no matter what she's into, if she wants,
You're on a good track.
yeah, if she wants to go see Taylor Swift concerts, fine. I'll figure out how to get tickets. Even though I don't like the music, that's okay. I don't have to like what you're into. I just have to support you, and as long as it's not dangerous, then
Right.
then it's fine. I mean, even if it is dangerous, well, how dangerous? Like I'm sure Tony Hawk's dad was like, I did okay.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. Most guys end up doing dangerous things growing up.
Yeah,
Do girls, you think,
I hope not.
live on the edge like
emotionally.
Well,
They do dangerous things emotionally. They will walk an emotional high wire and possibly damage themselves or others. But guys will just be like, I broke my arm.
Yeah, or watch me run across the highway.
Yeah, girls will
Yeah.
break your soul. There's so many things I did growing up where I'm like, I can't believe I'm alive.
by the way,
Yeah, same here.
when
Yeah.
I was younger, I ran across highways. Did you do that?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't believe I did that. I totally forgot until you said that right now.
Wait,
I totally
wait.
forgot.
You ran?
Yeah.
Across?
By the
Wow.
way, you won't believe this, but I joined the cross country running team in high school.
I believe it.
Okay. Well, that's it then.
And then what happened?
Well, I was the worst one. I did it because
Hard to
I
believe.
did it because there was a girl who was the captain of the team who I had a big crush on.
That's always the case.
And I wanted to spend time with her on the bus rides to the meets.
That's always the
And,
case.
that didn't pan out.
always a
and,
girl.
Yeah.
And then I would, I'd be dying out of breath in the forest on these runs, and everybody would be like going way past me. I'd keep running and stopping and walking and huffing and puffing. And I'd show up like an hour after everybody else had finished, and the whole team would be furious with me. And then the whole bus ride home would be miserable because they'd be like, "Why don't you just quit the team? This isn't for you." They said, "What?" Then they said, "You should be the guy who holds the clipboard at the end." And I didn't want to do it because I wanted to impress this girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "I'm gonna keep running." They're like, eventually I just quit because everyone hated me.
Hey,
for
but you
keeping
should
them.
have held the clipboard, and then everyone runs by you at the end. You could have
Yeah.
seen the girl.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
like
I know.
literally, if you're on the team, she's running away from you.
Yeah, no,
You
I
should've
did
just
actually
held the
do it for
clipboard.
one time, and it was humiliating. And then I was like, I'm not going to do the clipboard thing anymore.
Hey, but you found your thing.
Not running.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Standing still.
Sometimes,
Sitting.
yeah.
Job where you can sit
Sometimes
and stand still.
you gotta find. Sometimes you gotta do a few things you don't want to do to figure out what you want to do.
Imagine if
Right.
it had gone well with that girl. I'd be in svelte shape right now.
You'd be
would-
unbelievable.
you
You'd
would-
be walking on your hands on different lengths.
We'd be going for runs every morning together.
See
You got a
now,
nice- you
when
got a
you
nice
say
life.
that, when you say that, all I go is, man, I hope my daughter has a crush on someone that's like wanting to get into brain surgery
Yeah.
or something like that, not
Right.
running, like, but just like no, just like
Right.
yeah, follow that cute boy to Stanford and just become a brain surgeon or
She
something
was
like
running
that.
so fast I could never catch her. I
How do you think she ran so fast? You were behind her. Motivation.
So we usually do a story to round off the show.
Okay.
We're gonna pull up a story from the phone.
Sure.
Yes.
And we're gonna run it by you, and we're gonna see if we find something funny, and that's how we're gonna close this thing out.
Good.
Okay,
So,
there's one here. Let me see.
Okay.
How about this?
Okay.
What do we got?
So, New York Post. You want to read the little headline there?
Sure. New York City strap hangers help deliver baby girl on MTA subway. So, strap hanger, is that a...
Yeah, the people that, on the subway, they hold on to the little...
Oh,
there.
that's why I didn't know what it was, because I've never been able to reach the freaking strap. I'm like, what's a strap hanger? I have no idea what that is. So it's literally someone that holds the strap. Yeah, I don't know
I didn't know what it was either.
I've never been able to do that in my life. So yeah, that's why I didn't know what a strap hanger was. So people on the subway help deliver the baby girl. That's what they're saying?
Yeah. So,
and now the mayor is mad because she didn't pay the fare?
Right, because now there's somebody. Now the baby is on the thing.
That's so great.
Yeah.
They
She's
only
like,
paid
why?
for one.
You only paid for one. You arrived with two. You cheated the system. We have you on camera.
That's
there was
so
two
great.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Eric Adams, that's the mayor's name. Yeah, he's gonna go after her for that second
For
fare.
one fare.
I think this woman ought to get insurance next time. Maybe something to help.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, how bad is it when you're going into labor and you're like, I'm still not going to spring for a taxi?
Well,
like,
the good news is that she didn't get pregnant on the subway.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good thing.
The other thing about the subway, in terms of a woman giving birth on the subway, it's a crazy city when that's not the third craziest thing that they've seen on the subway that day.
Right.
Yeah.
When you ride the subway, they're like, oh God, here's the guy that's going to shut it down and start playing a ukulele and start asking for money.
Here's a woman.
Can someone just give birth something slightly less annoying?
Would have been even better if the mariachi band helped her deliver it. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
Here it comes. Hey.
Add a soundtrack or
It's
something.
like a non-event, right? The person goes home. They go, "How was your day?" Oh, a woman gave birth to twins on the subway. What's for dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a human pinata at that
Exactly.
point. Like, hey, look, the candy's out.
Yeah.
It's a baby.
The fact that baby at minute 1, second 1 of their life was exposed to a New York City subway, that baby's immune system,
It's unbelievable.
this baby's gonna live forever.
That baby's been exposed to every bacteria.
Everything.
The delivery nurse was a rat. It was,
Yeah, everything.
And
That
the good
baby's
news
never
is-
gonna die.
The baby peeing on the subway is nothing new.
Nothing new.
Right.
Everybody
Nothing new.
does it.
Oh, baby urine? Normally it's old guy urine. We're
Yeah.
fine.
That's how you actually cleanse the smell, is with
Exactly.
baby urine.
It's fun.
So here's one more.
All right, what we got?
And I don't even know what this is here.
This is my favorite thing. I just love riffing. United Airlines announces return of the fan favorite Stroopwafel. Now,
Ooh, that
okay.
is a fan
Is that
favorite.
Stroopwafel or Stroop?
of course you knew what that is. Why wouldn't you know what that is? Of course you're like Stroopwafel. Yes,
course it's-
I'm very familiar with the
I love a good
Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel.
Oh my God. So you know what a Stroopwafel is?
I actually don't. It's a Dutch treat. Is now available.
Yes.
on
Yes,
so-
It's
but
like
it's only available
it's like-
on select flights.
It's like
Yeah.
the smash burger of waffle.
yeah. So it's like two kind of like crispy waffle wafer crusts, and
Yeah.
then around and it's like a sandwich, and in the middle is like a thin layer of
Caramel.
of Stroop.
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 Yeah, Stroopwafel.
Nobody knows what it is. It looks like caramel.
So this is like
Total
this
Stroop.
is what gets me about
Stroopwafel
this
sounds
story.
like Stroopwafel sounds like a German or Dutch word for a slut. You're like, the girl, she's little Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel.
So why is this? It says the
Been with every man.
Stroopwafel, a Dutch treat, is
That
now
wasn't a
available
German
on
accent.
select flights.
Oh,
Select
yeah.
flights.
You have to call up and see, does my flight have Stroopwafel?
Which
I
he-
wanna
which
book
he
this
will
flight.
call.
Do we have Stroopwafel on
He
this
will
flight? 'Cause
call.
Otherwise, I'm not going.
This is a deal breaker for our boy right here.
Yeah.
Did you see his face light up when
he
we
said
said
Stroopwafel.
I
Stroopwafel?
love his Stroopwafel.
He
I
loves
love
it. He
By the way,
loves it.
Another
He's
thing,
got one in his
Stroopwafel.
pocket right now.
Stroopwafel sounds like a lewd sex act you might find in a German
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you got to see the show. She does a Stroopwafel like nobody does it.
Stroopwafel. Unbelievable what she does to Stroopwafel.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Let's see.
Don't get too close. when she's
I
Strooping.
love that you're an authentic fat guy. You lean right into it. You're like, yeah, I love Stroop
I do
waffles.
love a Stroopwafel.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I
man.
love that this was a news story that they brought back a Stroopwafel made a headline.
We care about our snacks. Hey, did we solve the FDA crisis? Are planes landing okay? No.
No.
or sorry, FAA, not FDA.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Right.
both in crisis, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Because now you have Robert
Right.
Kennedy in charge of the other one.
Another good impression.
I don't even know I could do that one.
Yeah.
That was just off the dome.
Well, that's good.
I'm like, okay, so now I'll be honest. That's me doing. I'm doing Kyle Dunnigan. Doing
Okay.
doing
So
Robert
you're an
Kennedy.
impressionist.
Yes,
You
I need to see.
impersonize
I need to
impersonators.
see Kyle Dunnigan do it, and then I go, okay. So what he does is he just goes back and forth with the
Wow.
voice, and then it's all right.
That's very good.
Excellent.
Did you know that gluten has killed 40,000 babies in the last 10 years? Just the gluten. It's all
Oh
from
my
the Democrats. It's fun to. That's actually a really fun impression to
That's
do.
a very good.
That's a
good
fun
riff and a good impression.
That's
There
a
you go.
fun. It's a fun one to do. I
That's
might.
a good example of a bit and an impression. That
I
were
might
both good.
take. I might take that one on stage. I'll be on stage. I'll look. Do you know what they put in those mozzarella sticks?
He came in a regular stand up. He leaves an impressionist.
You now have an opener.
I
That's
leave
it.
an impressionist.
You gotta wait open. You gotta wait open the act.
It's a fun impression to do.
It was yeah.
I didn't know I could do it. Now, the world is my oyster now.
Stroopwafel.
Yeah.
Oysters have too much mercury. So it's gonna be fun.
Brad, what do you want to plug?
My special. It's called Starfish. It's on YouTube. Just go there, watch it, and then go to my website, bradwilliamscomedy.com. I'm literally just posted my last dates for the entire year of 2025. I got the whole year booked up. So yeah, see when I'm coming to a city near you, and
Which is the
get
special
some
with your-
tickets.
with your dad.
It's called Daddy Issues. That one is on Amazon Prime. So I got 2 specials on Amazon Prime, Fun Size and Daddy Issues. I have one on Netflix called The Degenerates, and then the most recent one, Starfish, is on YouTube. Enjoy
Folks,
it.
You gotta go watch this guy.
He's
Either live
so
or
funny.
like the specials.
They say laughter is the best
You
medicine.
have, by the way, tremendous energy on
Yeah.
stage.
Thank you,
have
sir.
Tremendous energy.
It's from all the kale.
Laughter's the best medicine.
You
but
were in
he,
the thing.
he
You
would-
were in that
yeah.
vest.
Yeah,
Did it come with a
yeah.
sport jacket, or did you just go?
No, I go out to the Baby Gap and I bought a vest.
There you go.
It was good.
They say laughter's the best medicine, but
Certainly
they're-
not the
They're
vaccines.
lying.
Don't get the polio
Yeah,
vaccine.
yeah.
That
That-
one won't help you.
Right.
So
there.
markshift.com.
Yeah.
And my Instagram and my book, Why Not Lessons on Comedy, Courage, and Chutzpah. And I'll be at the Stroopwafel Festival.
Yeah, you'll be stripping.
And
Yeah.
hit up Mark's son at CAA and see if you can get represented
See
and
if
maybe
you
you
get my
can.
son to call you.
See,
Yeah.
you
Won't
gotta
call
call
me.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I'll take this opportunity as I close it out to plug the all-time greatest fat guy who the reason that I'm friends with Brad, he put us in touch, was the late great Ralphie May.
Wow.
Introduced us.
So I'll tell one. We'll close it out on this Ralphie May story, okay?
Yeah.
Because any Ralphie May story is a great story.
Yeah.
Ralphie May used to find out where I was playing in the country. This is before I was, I mean, I've never been big, but you get it. But before I was very popular, Ralphie would find out where I was playing in the country. And let's say if I was playing Phoenix, he knew, okay, Brad's playing Phoenix. He's going to go to Holmberg Radio, and he would call the radio station when I was on there. He knew what time I'd be on, and then I would hear from the other room, Ralphie May's on the phone. Brad, do you know about this? I'd be like, I know what he's going to do. Okay, just let him on air. And they'd put Ralphie on there, and he would be like, all right, Phoenix, Arizona, Brad Williams is going to be slinging dick all over your city. Lock up your wives, lock up your girlfriends, because Brad Williams is dragging a 3-foot battle axe, Jack. He's dragging it
Jack,
all
you know
over that
everything.
city. Your lady's going to watch out for Brad Williams, the funniest, horniest guy in this. And he would just do that.
And then probably crack himself up. Go,
Yeah, exactly.
that laugh.
Exactly. And he would do that, and I would sell more tickets that weekend because
Wow.
Ralphie called up and
Wow.
gave the blessing and said I'm funny and said my hog was big, and then life would be good for that weekend. So
God bless him.
God bless Ralphie May.
God bless
May
Ralphie.
he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, he would have lived longer if he had just followed my fitness routine. It's so much fun to do.
So good.
I'm not going to stop
You
doing
can
this
bring it into
impression.
everything.
But God bless Ralphie May. You guys are great. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
on.
Thank
you.
you. So my stuff is you can check out my comic books about my life at fairenoughcomic.com. And I now have my special, which you saw, Mark.
Yes, tremendous.
The one I did in Spain is up on Amazon. You can rent it or you can buy it.
España.
Yeah, so it's called Reconquistador. It's officially out. Stand Up Records put it out. It's
All right. Congratulations, man. That's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
So check that out. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We think it's funny. I hope you did as well. Please check us out. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, all the things, and tell your friends. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.